Hey everybody, welcome back to another trip report. Today we are flying from Bangkok down to Samui on a new airline that I've never flown on before, Bangkok Airways. And so after taking an easy train from the Payatai train station, we arrived at Suvarnabhumi Airport. We then took a few elevators up to the check-in area and were greeted to a very large, kind of the main terminal here that has multiple areas for checking in for pretty much every airline that flies to the airport, including Bangkok Airways here. And after a very easy document check and bag check, we then proceeded over to the security area. And since today's flight is a domestic flight, we headed towards the domestic departures area, and we used the B concourse portion of the main terminal. So if you're looking at like Google Maps and you're looking at the airport, it's kind of towards the east side of the airport. Within the domestic area, we then found our flight, and we were leaving at 12:40 on PG135, so that's the code for the Bangkok Airways flight on a little A319. This part of the airport was kind of a little bit underwhelming. There weren't many food options. There were some stores here like the Lawson convenience store. And so it was a little bit underwhelming compared to other Asian airports. But then we made our way over to our gate area. I'm pretty sure our gate today was B5. And Bangkok's airport is similar to like Singapore's Changi and other airports where you do the security check kind of at the gate instead of entering the main terminal area. And in this case, you kind of do security for about 4 or 5 different gates. So after doing security, we got some views of some Thai Airways international planes. There's a 777 over there, that 200ER, along with that little A319. And here's just kind of a view of the terminal. It's very airy and it's very spacious, but in my opinion, a little bit bare bones, especially for an airport that's relatively new, and especially compared to its peers in East and Southeast Asia. So today we were flying on this Bangkok Airways A319. The registration number of our plane today was HS-PPF, and HS-PPF is a 19-year-old December 2005 build A319. While hanging around in the terminal a bit for our plane to start boarding, we had the nice view of one of the active runways that was accepting arrivals. Here we have a Cathay Pacific A330-100 arriving from Hong Kong. And then eventually, after this A330 arrived, they started with the announcements that we were going to start boarding. And so we made our way to the escalator to go down towards kind of where our gate was. And kind of the sad part about BKK's airport is that the windows are not very favorable to getting a nice shot of your airplane. Some of them have this weird little like mesh on them, which makes photographing hard and video hard. But here it's just kind of like you're kind of at a distance, so you really have to zoom in when you're trying to get a photo or video. Then eventually, before we started actually entering the plane, I got this nice view of a Thai Airways International 7879 landing. So we eventually boarded our plane. Today we were sitting in like seat 5F or 4F, I can't remember which, but it was far up in the cabin. Bangkok Airways has a 3-3 layout on their A319s. The legroom was fine, more than adequate for a 45-minute flight down to Samui, and our seat had a nice view of the engine. A really cool thing about Bangkok Airways is that they're, at least from what I've seen recently, one of the few airlines still that have airplane magazines. So I know in the video that I did on Cathay, they still have one, but Bangkok Airways still has one. So it's awesome to see some airlines still doing this, and for many of you, you probably know that this was the casualty from the pandemic when a lot of airlines started getting rid of magazines. And Bangkok Airways has a cool page there that you just saw that shows a route map within Asia, Thailand, and other nearby countries such as Singapore. After we pushed back, we got a view of this nice Thai Airways 777 that's being retired in one of their cool older liveries. And kind of to the right of that 777 were actually some Thai Airways International A380-800s that were lined up that are no longer in service, and so they're just kind of lined up at BKK. Then eventually we taxied over to runway 20 left, and we took off for Samui. So after we were airborne, Bangkok Airways did a meal service. I know, a meal service on a 45-minute flight. Pretty amazing. Today they had pork fried rice along with that little dessert there, which was kind of like a cake with candied fruit. They had real metal cutlery. They gave us a nice water bottle, and then they came around with coffee or tea. So awesome service, especially on a 45-minute flight, and that was also a domestic flight. So again, great service, and the food tasted great. And then about 30 short minutes later, we began our descent, and so enjoy some nice views here of Samui, and then I'll update you as we're about to land. And then after our descent, we were on final approach, and we ended up landing on runway 17 here at Samui's International Airport. after landing at Samui, they don't. It's a small airport. They only have hard stands. They don't have any jet bridges or anything like that. So they bus everybody to and from the terminal, and the terminal is open air, which is really cool. So we were treated to this beautiful view of our A319, and then once we were on the bus, we got another great view of our plane, along with a little ATR that was nearby that you didn't see in that shot. And then at the domestic arrivals, the baggage claim was outdoors. So all in all, a fantastic trip by Bangkok Airways. Would highly recommend flying them within Thailand or in Asia. And thanks again for watching my trip report. I have many more trip reports in the hopper for you all, so please like and subscribe and drop a comment. Thank you.